Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video we have another unboxing from Puzzlcrate. This is the November box, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Alright, what do we have here? Alright, we have the 10-gram cube extreme. Alright, so let's go ahead and read about this puzzle. So it says, if you were subscribed to us back in November 2017, which I was, we sent out the original Diane 10-gram cube. So this November, we are stepping it up a notch and sending out the extreme version. The reason it is extreme is due to some of the faces having more cuts than the previous version, which allows for more turns and scrambling, and it can now shapeshift. The puzzle is very similar to Greg's own hexical puzzle, which he made in 2017. The quality of this puzzle is extremely good and is very playable. Enjoy! Alright, so of course it comes with a Calvin's puzzle stand, and then here we have the puzzle. Yeah, so when I first opened the box, I thought the box looked familiar, and I was like, haven't I gotten a Puzzlcrate like this before? And then as soon as I saw the card, it all made sense. So I've been doing Puzzlcrate for over a year now at this point, because I do remember making an unboxing video of the November Puzzlcrate from last year with this, with the other 10-gram cube in it. So that's pretty crazy. I've been able to keep this series going for that long. Glad you guys have enjoyed it for so long, so I'm going to keep doing it as long as you guys are still enjoying it. So yeah, so here it is, the 10-gram cube extreme. The first thing I want to do is compare it to the original 10-gram cube, so I'll see if I can find that puzzle.
5 minutes later.
Alright, so as it turns out, I actually don't have the original 10-gram cube. I'm pretty sure the card must have been referring to a different month that they send that puzzle out, because I went back and looked at my November 2017 Puzzlcrate unboxing, and it was a different puzzle that I unboxed. The puzzle that this was reminding me of was the Picture Insanity cube, which is from the very first Puzzlcrate that I ever unboxed. But yeah, I actually don't have the original 10-gram cube, but here we have the extreme one. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this puzzle can turn. So there's a few obvious ways it can turn. On the corner like this is one. Looks like you can also do edge turns on some axes, so we can do it here. It looks like here. So that's two ways. And yeah, so right now I'm only seeing corner turns and edge turns. I'm not sure, there's probably some other ways it can move. It's supposed to be able to shapeshift, so let's see. There we go. So there's a shapeshift like that. So if we turn a corner up by a portion like that and then do an edge move, it'll move. So that's pretty cool. So it looks like there's probably going to be quite a bit of jumbling on the puzzle like this, I would imagine. Let's see, can we get another corner to turn now maybe? Oh yeah, look at that. Or now another edge can turn. That's very cool. So I'm already scrambling it, so I don't want to do that. But yeah. So this is a very cool puzzle. This is definitely quite an obscure one. I don't know if it's based on a certain puzzle and I'm just not seeing it. It doesn't appear to be, unless it's a very bandaged puzzle that it's based on, that's had its shape changed or something like that. I don't know. I don't know too many puzzles that can do edge turns and corner turns, so that definitely narrows it down quite a bit. The card said that it did have some similarities to one of Greg's puzzles, so I'll definitely have to look into that because I wasn't familiar with the name of the puzzle on the card, so I'll definitely be sure to look it up. But as for turning, the turning's quite good. It's not completely smooth. As you can hear, there's a bit of a click. So for these corner turns, it clicks at the end of every turn. The edge turns are quite smooth. But yeah, the corner turns do have that bump at the end of the turn. So, but yeah, overall, definitely a very, very unique and very cool puzzle. I have no idea how this is going to solve or how it's even going to scramble, but I guess we'll just try it out. So I'm going to go ahead and scramble it without shape-shifting first. So we'll just go ahead and do a whole bunch of these moves for a little while and get the whole thing messed up like this first. Alright, so it looks like this is about as messed up it's going to get. There's going to be certain pieces that I'm not going to be able to split just because, those turns can't be made. For example, you can do edge turns along, like, say, this side, but not on this side. So I'm not going to be able to split these pieces up here. So I imagine that's where the jumbling is going to come into play. So we'll go ahead and start jumbling now. Alright, so that looks like a pretty sufficient scramble. I tried to get as many of the pieces away from each other as I possibly could, so I think that's a pretty good scramble. So I really have no idea where to start with the solution, but I'm going to go ahead and work with this puzzle for probably the next few days, and then I'll be back. Alright, so it's been a few days and I've gotten a chance to solve the Tangram Cube Extreme. So the solve of this puzzle wasn't super terrible. It was a decent challenge. I did have to look up a tutorial. I wasn't able to figure it out on my own. But once I understood how the method worked, it definitely made a lot more sense. It was kind of hard for me to get a perspective on what this cube actually was like on the inside without taking it apart. But I watched a video from Greg where he compared this puzzle to his own hexacle puzzle, which is basically an unbandaged version of this puzzle. So it's the same thing, except all these middle pieces here are not bandaged together like this. There's another cut right there that allows you to do the same turn that you can on this side on the other side for all the faces. And he explained in that video that this puzzle is basically based off of a triangular prism. It's so basically here's how you can look at it as a triangular prism, because I didn't understand this for a little bit. It took me a while to wrap my head around how this works. Basically, here are the pieces that are attached to the core. You have this piece, this one, and then these two corners here. These are the ones attached to the core on the inside. So this rotates around the core. So does this side and this side. And then the top and bottom of the triangular prism would be these top and bottom faces here. It's just been reshaped into a cube. So Greg's hexacle is based off of a hexagonal prism. So this bandaged one is just based off of a triangular prism. So that's basically how that works. So this is a little bit simpler than his puzzle would have been if they mass produced that, but it's still a pretty decent challenge. So I'm not gonna go through like a walkthrough solve or anything, but I will explain kind of the method and also just what order you have to solve the pieces in, because that's something that always confuses me about these puzzles, is I never really know where to start or where to move. Like once you solve a certain pieces, like what order do you solve the pieces in and how are they supposed to go in so that you don't mess up other stuff when you're trying to solve one thing. I don't know, it's confusing, and it would have taken me a long time to figure it out on my own, especially because you do need some algorithms that I would not have been able to figure out for a while. So basically when it's all scrambled, the first thing you want to do is pick one of these two corners here, like the two corners that the corner turns rotate around, and then solve all of these smaller triangles around the corner piece. And then after you do that, you want to solve all of the bigger pieces that go between those little triangle pieces. So you basically solve this whole layer here, if you want to call it that, except for these smaller outer triangles. You save that for last. So first you solve these pieces on one side and then these pieces on one side, and then you flip it over and you basically do the same thing. You solve these pieces and then you solve these pieces. You just have to do it a bit differently because if you do it the way you solved this side, it will mess up this side. So you have to be very intentional about how you move these pieces around the puzzle to make sure that it doesn't break up the pieces down here. And then you have to use an algorithm to swap sections of these. So you can, use an algorithm to swap these two that are all of these adjacent pieces. And you basically just use that to rotate all of these around into the right spots that they need to go. Then after that, you can solve the middle slice, which is pretty much intuitive. And then you solve these pieces here, these outer, like smaller triangles, basically in the same way that you would solve cuboid corners. So basically you could take this as like the top layer and then the bottom layer of a cuboid, and you're basically just taking these corners and dropping them down into whatever spot you need them to go. In any one of these spots. And it works no matter where you put it because, you can always turn this side even if it's rotated 60 degrees or all the way across. Another thing is that during the whole solve, you basically always want to hold it like this. It can be on any side pretty much, but you always want to hold it so that this bigger like centerpiece here is off on the left side so that you can always do a right-hand turn. So basically there's 3 ways that this can turn on the edge and 2 ways it can turn on the corner, right? So it can turn once like that, and then once like that, once like that, and then the 2 top and bottom corner turns. So when you're solving the cube, you're only doing like R and U moves pretty much. So you always want to hold this on the right side. So once you're able to get that perspective, the whole solve starts to make a lot more sense. If you're kind of just holding it in random positions and trying to figure out what edges turn and what edges don't, it's going to be really confusing. But kind of once you get an idea of what the puzzle's like on the inside and how the pieces move, it all starts to make a lot more sense. So if you want to try and figure it out on your own, I hopefully haven't spoiled too much of the solve for you. Now you at least know the order in which the pieces are supposed to be solved, and you can figure out the rest on your own if you want, or you can just go watch a tutorial and have the whole thing explained. But for me, I didn't really need that. I just needed the algorithm to switch, the two pieces on the bottom layer, and then I just needed to know the order in which the pieces were solved, and I could pretty much figure it out on my own. So hopefully that was, at all helpful to you in any way. But yeah, this is a really fun puzzle, definitely a very cool one, pretty obscure. Obscure puzzles are fun to solve every once in a while, but I also do like myself a pretty, relatively easy to understand puzzle as well. But yeah, these are very cool as well. So another thing I wanted to clarify was just actually what box Puzzlecrate did send the Tangram cube in, because on the card it said November 2017. November 2017 they didn't send this cube. It actually turns out it was November 2016. So it wasn't another month, it was another year. And that actually was before I was subscribed to Puzzlecrate, so it makes sense why I wouldn't have gotten it. Anyways, guys, that about does it for this unboxing, but there is one more thing I want to talk about before this video ends, and that is, of course, the giveaway for the 2x2 Ghost Cube from last month's video. So let's go ahead and choose a winner for this right now. Alright, so it's time to pick a winner for the 2x2 Ghost Cube giveaway. So I've got all the comments loaded up, so we'll just go ahead and go for it. Alright, so congratulations, you are the winner of the 2x2 Ghost Cube. I'll go ahead and send you an email if I can, or if I can't, I'll just leave a comment on one of your videos and see if we can figure out a way to get a hold of you. Anyways, that's about it for this giveaway. Thanks, of course, to everyone who commented, and I hope to do more in the future. Anyways, guys, that's about it for this month's Puzzlecrate unboxing. If you guys want to check out Puzzlecrate, I'll leave a link in the description down below. As always, it's a $30 a month subscription service, and you get new puzzles sent to you every month. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, turn notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.